When we screw up, you start with forgiving ourselves for screwing up, taking responsibility and apologising and owning it, and talking to the change, right? And who here at times finds that having a relationship with their children is challenging? There can be a little bit of conflict sometimes. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yes, well, one of the things that Aston and I have been openly discussing this for a while now is I've had a tendency from my childhood and from what's going on in my head, for some reason he's the only person that I've done it to, which is I've been projecting onto him over the last, over parts of his life, projecting onto him my shit to do with my childhood, my dad. And it's been coming out of my mouth. I've been doing some really big focus on that more recently, and I can start to see and feel a change in that for me, that I'm not and I'm not perfect, and obviously our kids are one of the biggest mirrors we're going to get. Our kids and our partners, right? That's pretty much and if parents too, if you hang around with them again when you're older. So having to and I feel if that ever happens, I feel really upset with myself. I feel a lot of shame and stuff like that around projecting that shit onto Aston or onto Charlie, less so. And very different relationship with Charlie than I have with Aston, or I'm not triggered in the same way. But that's because it's a mirrorship of him and I being very similar and processing things in similar ways, and we kind of, I don't know, just there's a dynamic there that I'm learning to improve, and it's very, very important for me to do that, obviously, to protect our relationship. And yeah, I've been very disappointed in how it's shown up at times, and as we probably all have. But we have to forgive that in ourselves first, and then and take responsibility as quickly as we can. Don't let our egos and our pride be like, I had every right to be a shithead to him or to her or to them because they did this to me. Okay, well, that's now relinquishing your power to somebody else. It's still, you are responsible for how you show up. You're responsible for how you communicate. And you're responsible, even if they made me feel this, they made me get angry, okay, all good and well, people can't actually make us feel things. I think, the precursor to that I see is, unless someone's doing you intentional harm and they're intentionally trying to make you feel something by being abusive or whatever, name calling and that sort of stuff, then that's a bit different. But generally, if someone does something and they're not trying to intentionally hurt you, they're not making you feel something. There's something here that's coming up and out, right? But then we tend to project it, and projection is that form of communication where we're just putting this stuff on someone else. And it doesn't work, does it? When it happens, it doesn't work, it doesn't end well, okay? And we feel the same way. When someone does that to us, the same thing happens. It doesn't feel great for us. So overall then, what are the different types and the different types of what different types of communication are there? So verbal, yep. Body language. So audio communication, including like tone and stuff like that. Written. So written communication, yeah, or emails, everything like that. There's visual. For example, if it's like someone's got an idea, I'm really open to that idea. Or if someone's coming up to you, see someone, a friend or something, and they're like, they look at you and they're like, oh yeah, hi, But someone going, hey mate, how are you? Like, you can tell the difference visually by what's going on as well. What else is there's behavioural, and there's energetic, how you make people feel. I don't get up here to show you my spelling. So written, we have email, text, letters, cards, messages, media, okay? Auditory, it's how we speak, it's the pace, it's the volume. Or the volume, right? Makes a big difference. Intensity, tone, or when you're speaking to somebody like this and you're trying to get a message across and you don't actually take any breaths and you don't leave a space for them to actually think anything, that's like that speed thing. The difference in pacing and speed and tone and even the words you're using. If someone's putting the F-bomb every third word in a sentence, and mind you, the F word can kind of be used for anything, positive or negative, depends how it's... Visual is, it's what people wear, how they show up. It's facial expressions, it's body language, it's movement, it's expressiveness, all those sorts of things. The behavioural, it's what we do. Are we being congruent with our words? Like I said, yeah, I'm really open to that idea, and you lean back. People will know, well, there's a micro expressions that we can't control in our face that people pick up, usually subconsciously, when someone says, oh, how about we do this? And there's this fleeting look of disgust. We've all done it to other people, right? We don't do it on purpose, and it's like a migrant. It's like not very. It's very quick, but that's our body saying no, right? But our mouth is saying yes. So we're not being congruent, okay? And then the energetic. It's how it feels to us and others when we communicate. Do you feel safe? Do you feel at peace? Do you feel like you're enjoying it? Do you feel tense? Do you feel anxious? Do you get a text message that goes ding and your chest tightens up, right? When you get a message from that person. Like what's playing out? That's the energetic piece that's driven by a whole lot of other things. Who thinks they've misinterpreted what someone's written before? We just take all of our bullshit and how we're feeling and what we've made up in our head about the last interaction we had that person, particularly those close to us, family, partners, etc. And we just go and project it onto those words, which could be something as simple as no worries. And then you think, well, a 2-word response and things like that. I know it's silly, but we all do it, right? We all do it sometimes.